in the state is unconstitutional after last year's ballot referendum. The filing comes after abortion clinics asked a Hamilton County judge to throw out the law. Yost is asking the court to only strike down the core of the law, banning abortions after 6 weeks, while allowing other portions of it to remain in place. That includes requiring a doctor to check for heartbeat, inform a patient of any heartbeat, and to document the reason someone is having an abortion. The so-called heartbeat bill, signed in 2019, prohibited most abortions after the first detectable fetal heartbeat. Voters in Florida will have to decide whether to add abortion rights to the state's constitution. The proposed amendment needs 60% of the vote to pass and would leave the decision to women and their doctor. Parents would have to be notified before a minor undergoes a procedure for an abortion. But until Floridians can make the choice for themselves, the state Supreme Court has upheld a ban on most abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. This decision made on Monday. That paves the way for a stricter 6-week ban that was previously passed. It will take effect in the next 30 days. So later this hour, 21 News legal expert Brian Kopp will join us from Florida here to go over some of the changes to abortion laws in Ohio and in the Sunshine State, how this could all play out amid the election. In more local news, a 64-year-old East Palestine man already in prison for getting caught in an undercover sex sting pleads guilty to child sex crimes dating back to the late 1990s. James Brown pleaded guilty to gross sexual imposition. Brown was sentenced to 3 years in prison in 2022 after talking with an officer who was posing as a 12-year-old girl online at the time. When Brown is released in a year, he will be classified as a Tier 2 sex offender. Then he is ordered to serve 5 years probation for this latest string of charges. Police are investigating a shooting that happened last night in downtown Sharon. This is what we know. A little after midnight, officers found a 23-year-old man on North Water Avenue, shot in his leg and his torso. He is in a hospital right now and is expected to survive. Police found more than 30 shell casings in a nearby parking lot and 2 nearby stores with bullet holes. Police are still investigating and they've not named any suspects. Over on Youngstown's west side, police are looking into property damaged by gunfire. On North Evanston Avenue, one woman found a bullet hole in the shower of her home. A man also finding bullet holes in his car and the windows were shattered. Another man that had his pickup truck windows were also shattered by gunfire. Police say no one was hurt. Let's get back to Andrew for a look at the forecast. Andrew, we had rain all day and you say it's not going to go away.
Yeah, we had high water to start off the morning, Lindsay, and most of us saw that high water on our way into work and probably looked out the window first thing this morning and went, oh man, especially if you have a pet, it's going to be a mess moving forward. It was a quiet second half of the day, but before we got to that quiet patch here throughout the afternoon, we picked up anywhere from an inch to inch and a half locally across the area. Now everything continuing to be quiet out there in Bourbon, even seeing some peaks of sunshine before a really nice sunset in a couple of hours out on our Kissling, Nestico, and Reddick traffic camera. But we are keeping a close eye on radar locally and even across the region because we are seeing a weakening line of showers move across the region, but we are starting to see some signs of severe weather move into the Buckeye State. This line that's pushing out of eastern portions of Indiana, producing some tornado warnings, some severe thunderstorm warnings near the Louisville area, and some sub-severe thunderstorms pushing across the state line nearing the Dayton area. Here locally, I think it'll take some time for us to see that line push across the Buckeye State. If it holds together, I think anytime from 7 to about 10 o'clock, probably closer to about 8 to 10 o'clock, we'll see that decaying line moving forward. Now, I think the best chance to see some severe weather will be anywhere south of Columbus area towards Cincinnati. But here locally, that threat isn't zero. And in fact, even if we do see sub-severe thunderstorms, the possibility of some heavier rain agitating the already wet and saturated ground is going to be an issue moving forward tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So localized flooding could certainly be a concern. Severe thunderstorm threat and some gusty winds. The threat is definitely not zero. So we're keeping in mind of what will happen off to the west here and what happens as that line pushes across the Buckeye State moving forward. But a tornado threat certainly lower than it was when we joined you on the midday. As far as how much rain we could pick up after this line moves through late tonight, I think anywhere from a half most likely upwards to about 3/4 of an inch of rainfall in addition to what we've already seen. That'll move through the area, and there is a flood watch is in effect across the area, and even some flood warnings in effect in some specific locations. And that rainfall will continue to agitate what's already been a pretty soggy start to our day. So as we move forward into our Wednesday, we'll deal with some morning showers. Here comes this low that'll pivot across the Great Lakes. It'll provide us with some isolated showers in the morning, more spotty activity the second half of the day. Late Wednesday and into your Thursday, the potential is there by Thursday morning by daybreak to see a few snowflakes start to develop. We'll deal with some snowflakes around for your Thursday, rain and snow showers, and then more snowflakes will be possible by the time you start your Friday. So it's going to be a chilly and a blustery second half of the day. Low 40s will be the high, Lindsay, Thursday and into Friday. This weekend looks nice, although for the eclipse, potential for a bit more cloud cover and a shower can't be ruled out completely. So we're crossing our fingers and staying optimistic for April 8th's forecast.
Yeah, and folks got to stay weather aware as we head into later tonight. We'll see you soon, Andrew. Thank you. Stocks had their worst day in 4 weeks as Wall Street hits the brakes on what's been an almost unstoppable month. The S&P 500 falling 0.7%, the Dow losing 1%, the Nasdaq gave back 1%. Health insurers helped lead the market lower after the U.S. government announced lower than expected rates for Medicare Advantage. The Labor Department says job openings grew slightly in February, a sign the job market remains strong. A total of 8.8 million job openings were reported last month, slightly more than January's 8.7 million openings. Layoffs also increased in February to 1.7 million. Tesla posted its first annual drop in sales since the first year of the pandemic. Worldwide delivery of its vehicles were down 8.5% in the first quarter compared to last year. The delivery volume was far below expectations. Tesla partially attributes the decline to factory shutdowns, thanks to problems getting parts from China and Europe. The Powerball jackpot keeps climbing. No one matched all of last night's numbers, so the big prize climbs to $1.09 billion. 6 tickets did match the first 5 numbers, and those winners will get $1 million each. The next drawing is Wednesday night, so you still have time to grab a ticket and test your luck, and you can get those winning numbers right here on 21 News at 11. Next, from broken phones to busted TVs, e-waste, it's ballooning out of control. Our national correspondent explains what you should do with those old gadgets that are just sitting around your house. And taking a look at that forecast, we're going to track the next round of severe weather slated to move through the valley in the next couple of hours. What you need to know to stay weather aware.
Closed captioning is made possible by Window World. Not only do we stand behind our windows, we stand on them.
From inside Iran, from Israel, from Florida. Part of our continued reporting.
It is safe. Everybody good? Women, children.
Clean air is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Stanley Steamer is the most experienced and largest air duct cleaner in the country. A real clean that enhances air quality, reduces allergens, and helps you breathe easier. Experience Real Clean with Stanley Steamer. Call or click to schedule your appointment.
You won't go home hungry from Carmela's. Join us for freshly prepared, family-inspired Italian favorites, always served with a smile. Carmela's Cafe and Italian Eatery, like Grandma used to make, on Western Reserve Road in Boardman.
Do you need help applying for Social Security disability? At Burger & Green, we can file your application. Do not wait to file for benefits. If you can't work, call now for a free case evaluation. We know how important SSD benefits are to you and your family. We encourage you to have an experienced attorney on your side. At Burger & Green, there is no fee unless you get benefits. Trust the name you know.
Burger & Green, the injury and disability lawyers. 1-800-999-2626.
For over 75 years, Kamara Jewelers has been the destination for quality jewelry. Our collection has a piece for everyone, in every occasion. Whether you're starting a new chapter, celebrating a milestone, or showing appreciation for the special people in your life, you can find a piece that reflects your love. At Kamara, we're about timelessness. Our jewelry isn't just for special occasions, it's for everyday moments that deserve a touch of elegance.
Get real, get Kamara.
Hurt in a car? Call KNR. Call 1-800-HURT now. I appreciate the smaller class sizes offered at JFK, and as a parent, I feel like I'm really welcome here to be involved.
Find out more about Warren JFK at warrenjfk.com.
Stanley Steamer's air duct cleaning process goes deep, cleaning your entire system. If you've never had your air ducts cleaned or it's been a few years, now's the time. With the most certified technicians and best trucks in the industry, it's a clean only Stanley Steamer can provide. Call or click to schedule your appointment.
21 News is brought to you by Dean's Outdoor Power Equipment.
Since 1916, Gravely has been designed, engineered, and made right here in the USA. Whether you prefer gas or electric, every Gravely has been forged with the commercial landscaper in mind. So they're not only built to last, but to also keep you riding comfortably from dawn to dusk. So ask yourself, are you ready to graduate to a Gravely? Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Don't miss the Gravely Open House Savings Event at Dean's Outdoor Power Equipment in Niles.
From old cell phones, busted TVs, washed up washing machines, a recent UN study found the amount of electronic waste generated globally is growing 5 times faster than it can even be recycled. This can lead to a host of environmental, health, and climate concerns. CNN's Michael Yoshida digs into the issue and offers some helpful tips on how you can safely dispose of your old gadgets. Hi, Michael.
Hey there, Lindsay. When we talk about those small gadgets, they remain a big problem when it comes to this electronic waste. That study finding that only about 1 in 10 of those small electronics are actually recycled. Much of this e-waste ending up in landfills where the risk of pollution and other health effects are high. From e-cigarettes to broken appliances and old cell phones, global electronic waste, or e-waste, has reached record highs. Some 68.3 million tons in 2022 alone, according to a recent United Nations report.
That's equivalent to the weight of over 100,000 of the world's largest passenger aircrafts. If you put them together, that's enough to form an unbroken queue from New York to Athens, 5,000 miles.
As the world becomes more reliant on electronics, the recycling of gadgets and appliances is not keeping pace, something experts are hoping will change with more awareness.
Better managing e-waste means better health. Health for the planet, but also health for ourselves, because a lot of the components in e-waste can be very toxic to humans.
Along with environmental and health reasons to recycle, there's a big money incentive too. E-waste often contains rare earth metals.
If we had been able to reuse and collect all what is in e-waste, we could have generated over $91 billion in value just in 2022.
So how can you safely recycle your e-waste or give it a second life? Experts say if the gadget is old but still working, see if a friend or a family member wants it. Another option, see if you can trade it in for a new device or credit. And if you do choose to get rid of your item, make sure it goes to a certified recycler. And even though it's something that many of us probably have done, those experts we spoke with say that we shouldn't just take those old devices and throw them in a drawer and forget about them. Besides taking up space, there's components in those devices that could be quite valuable if reused or recycled. Lindsay, back to you.
Yeah. Hey, you can consign some of that, sell it online. Hey, if people want to make sure that they're using a certified recycler for those electronics that you're mentioning, Michael, what are some of the things that they can do?
Yeah, there's a few options. You can reach out to your state's environmental department or maybe your city's department or waste department. Also, there's some organizations that have put some tools out there to make it a little easier for you to figure this out. The Consumer Technology Association, on its website, it has a recycling locator. You put in your zip code, it'll pop up some nearby locations. They'll let you know what devices they accept. It'll have obviously the address, phone numbers, and other ways you can reach out to make sure you have everything you need to know before arriving as you try and recycle some of those devices you may have around your house.
Oh, yeah, great advice as always. Thank you for your report. Now, it is a critical part of maintaining your health, but managing weight is not always easy. And if you're hoping to shed a few pounds as it gets warmer outside, experts say there's no better time to start than now. Mandy Gaither has more on how to successfully get fit as summer approaches.
You may be eyeing that swimsuit and checking out that number on the scale, but you might need to change your mindset.
What we want to focus on is lifelong health and not just focus solely on a summer body.
Dr. Steve Poon with Mayo Clinic says to meet long-term goals, first be realistic.
A lot of times people try to make these drastic changes, but oftentimes they don't take hold because it's very difficult.
Poon says to take small steps, consistent exercise can help. Incorporate cardio to get the heart rate up and strength training to build muscle. But make sure you're doing something you enjoy.
Exercise comes in very different forms for each individual, right? And what works for one person doesn't always work for the others.
Next, eat balanced meals. Poon says don't try to cut out entire food groups. Instead, eat in moderation with plenty of protein, fruits and veggies, and fiber.
Certain diets tend to avoid carbohydrates, but that's part of your long-term energy store. So if you're doing some longer distance exercises, you're going on a weekend hike on a challenging mountain trail, having some carbohydrates the night before will actually help keep and sustain your energy.
Finally, is that add empty calories. That includes alcohol and soda.
You'll hear me say moderation, moderation, moderation over and over again. And that holds true with regardless of what we're thinking about.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, small steps. We can do it. Baby steps. Now, Lester Holt has a look at what NBC News crews are also working on for tonight.
Ahead for us, new underwater imagery reveals the challenges below for the bridge cleanup in Baltimore. And our Bible classes for elementary public school students blurring the line between church and state. That story and more on Nightly News.
Ohio's Attorney General is fighting to keep portions of the state's heartbeat bill alive. He's asking a Hamilton County judge to let some of the bill banning abortions after 6 weeks, including the requirement for a doctor to check for a heartbeat and also to keep in place the requirement for doctors to document the reason why a patient is having an abortion. We're bringing back our 21 News at 5 legal expert Brian Kopp to weigh in on this and more that's happening across the state. Great to have you back with us, Brian.
Good to be here. Good to be here. A lot going on.
I know. Yeah, it is. And it is a very busy week. The ACLU says Attorney General Dave Yost's continued litigation should end, and they claim that he's arguing over extraneous matters when it comes to the abortion bill. Could the judge rule in his favor, though?
Sure, he could. Regardless of what your position is on abortion, what you're seeing now is a constitutional right that's been preserved in Ohio. So laws that affect it are looked at, is it actually taking away a right or is it limiting it in a way that's acceptable? I mean, we talk about free speech, is being preserved in the US and state constitutions, but it doesn't mean you can use hate speech. So the analogy there is, from what I understand, the Attorney General saying, we understand people have a right in Ohio to have abortions. Whether you agree with that or not is not really the issue. The issue is, can we pass laws that manage that right, meaning that there are certain rights that may affect it but don't take it away.
And Florida could really be the next case scenario, just like Ohio was last November when voters decided to approve issue 1. Now it looks like voters in Florida are likely going to weigh in. The Supreme Court in Florida issued rulings Monday allowing voters to decide on this issue. Also, recreational marijuana. Sounds familiar?
Yes.
What is the law right now in Florida, and what could change?
Well, you're seeing these heartbeat rule or laws being passed. I think that everyone is trying to figure out how far can the legislature go in limiting these rights. And if they do, like I said, the right to abortion was created by this right to privacy. So there is nothing that's written in any of our constitutions that says anyone has a right to privacy. It's not freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, which are specifically enumerated in the US Constitution and in a lot of state constitutions. So you are seeing now what happens when there's interpretation of language and then how the legislature reacts and what rights people can have through the constitutional amendment process. So history repeats itself. What has happened in Florida or what has happened in Ohio is now happening in Florida. You're seeing this in state to state throughout the country.
Also, Cleveland.com reporting AG Yost is criticizing the state for not using the death penalty, pointing to what he is calling unnecessary spending of millions of dollars. Real quick, what could lawmakers do to overhaul the system?
Well, it's very hard to limit the appellate process when you're getting ready to take somebody's life. So some states that have said we don't want the death penalty anymore, and if somebody gets life in prison, it ends years and years of challenges and appeals and collateral attacks by way of habeas corpus motions. So without knowing exactly what he intends to do, I think from a political standpoint, it's a talking point in an election process. Whether or not it gains legs, that's yet to be determined.
Yeah, we'll see what sticks. A lot happening this year. Like you said, a busy week is going to be a busy year. Brian, thank you so much for joining us here at 5.
Always good to weigh in. Thanks.
Coming up in our next half hour, the Buckeye Review is going through some changes, including new ownership. I'm chatting with the new editor-in-chief about her vision to revamp content right here. Andrew, what's next?
Yeah, and Lindsay, we're keeping a close eye on what's off to our west as far as where and who will see a severe weather threat this evening. We'll give you the latest on that, show you the latest storm tracker radar coming up in my forecast. Plus, it's going to be an ugly second half of the week with rain and even those snowflakes making a return. But will we see showers and more clouds just in time for the eclipse? The full and latest thoughts for April 8th coming up as well in my full forecast. For now, though, stay with us. 21 News at 5. We'll be right back.
Want a little more weather? Check out Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm's Weather for Weather Geeks, posted every weekday evening.
I didn't get the job. Who knew that when we let a gringo in the family that he'd be the poor one? There'll always be a half Mexican, half Cuban Dominican who, if the lighting is right, can pass for Armenian.
Lopez versus Lopez returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
You are the weakest link. Who showed up to the Battle of the Brains unarmed? You know how they say you'll look back at this and laugh? I don't think you will.
Weakest Link returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
The Youngstown Tile Retail Design Center, we're your local leaders in residential flooring and luxury home projects. We have proudly served our customers and local community for over 75 years. Stop by and visit our new showroom. Let's talk about your home renovation ideas. We have an assortment of products on display for you to view. We carry top brands such as Dow Tile, LePay, Fluter Systems, and many more. At Youngstown Tile Retail Design Center, we want to help bring your home renovation ideas to life. For quality service, quality products, and first-in-class customer service. Go bold, go local, go Youngstown Tile.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash and select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. We are professional grade. GMC.
21 News is brought to you by Ainsley Heating and Cooling. True 24-hour service.
Spring has finally sprung and the dog days of summer are right around the corner. That's when your AC will be working its hardest to keep you cool and comfortable. If your AC decides to quit on the hottest day of the year, don't sweat it. Ainsley Heating and Cooling has true 24-hour service at no extra charge. That's right, you will receive the same fast, reliable service at no additional cost for nights, weekends, or even holidays. Get Ainsley Heating and Cooling when you need to get back in the cool.
Members of the Youngstown community will meet tonight to hear from the developer of a new housing project. Erin Simonek is joining us now from the newsroom. Erin, what is the Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board proposing?
Yes, Lindsay, good evening to you. Now, this housing project would be a 24-unit housing facility located along Youngstown's south side, just along East Indianola Avenue. Now, here's a glimpse of where the property would be. It would be built on the former Woodside Receiving Hospital property. The Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board would also provide some services to those living there, but they do tell us that this is not an entire treatment center necessarily. Now, they say the project will be similar to the Commons at Madison. That is along MLK Jr. Boulevard, just northwest of the downtown district. Now, coming up on 21 News at 6, hear from members from the Recovery Board ahead of this meeting about why they feel this type of development is needed in the community and why they say they want to be transparent with a public meeting with community members. That meeting is at 6:30 tonight at the Oka Building along Shirley Road on the city's south side. For now, reporting in the 21 newsroom with more local news, I'm Erin Simnak. Lindsay.
Thank you, Erin. We'll watch for that report later tonight. It's a good day also for the safety of rail workers, rail passengers, and really every person who drives over a crossing. That from the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about a major rule change on the nation's rail network. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more on what the federal government is doing to better protect rail employees and every community that a train passes through.
America's rails are safer today than they were yesterday.
Safer because a new rule requiring at least 2 workers on every train goes into effect Tuesday, a move applauded by DC's Firefighters Association.
When train lengths are approaching 3 miles, relying on just one single crew member is a recipe for disaster.
First responders often rely on rail crew workers to give them critical hazardous cargo or mechanical information when they arrive on scene.
These crew members are the first line of defense until we arrive.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg says last year alone, 7 rail workers were killed while on duty, and nearly 4 dozen suffered major injuries. In February of 2023, a derailed train carrying hazardous materials in East Palestine, Ohio, burned for days, leaving the surrounding communities mired in health, environmental, and political fallout to this day.
More than 1,500 derailments have occurred since the East Palestine incident.
For years, rail industry lobbyists have been successful in pushing back on the 2-worker rule at the state level.
The railroad lobby said the federal government should be the one to make the rule so that there's uniformity across state lines. So here we go.
Additionally, the DOT has conducted thousands of inspections on high hazard rails and crossings, issued new safety policies related to tanker cars, and improved benefits for many union workers, like paid sick days.
And we are going to keep pressing Congress to pass the Railway Safety Act.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
And that Railway Safety Act was introduced by bipartisan lawmakers, including Senators Sherrod Brown and J.D. Vance, in the wake of the East Palestine derailment disaster. But it so far remains stalled by the railroad lobbyists and their allies that are in Congress. We'll keep you posted on how it moves through. In more local news, trustees in Champion want to turn a former dance studio into a community center. The 10,000 square foot property on Marshall Avenue would also serve as a new administration building. 2 rooms would be available for party or meeting rentals, and there will also be an outdoor event space. The township still has about $257,000 in ARP money that it will use for this. Trustees plan to submit an offer within the next few days. An iconic theater in downtown Columbiana is changing ownership once again. Gina Cadigan has more on the struggles the Main Street Theater has already gone through.
This theater was sold for $850,000 to a company called Comco. Now, this theater has been through its ups and downs. Like a lot of businesses during the pandemic, they had a hard time. They had to close for a year. And during that year, the owners said they had some trouble covering the theater's expenses. Now, it's changed hands a few times since then, but it is still an active theater. It's very historic for Columbiana. A lot of people credit it for the reason the city was voted one of the nicest places in America by Reader's Digest. Coming up tonight on 21 News at 6, here's some of the history of this theater and why it's so significant to Columbiana. With more local news, I'm Gina Cadigan.
All right, thank you, Gina. Utah State makes it official just a few hours ago, officially introducing Jared Calhoun as the men's new basketball coach. Dana Ballas joins us in studio with all the details. Hey, Dana.
Yeah, Lindsay, Calhoun is the 22nd coach in Utah State history and signed a 5-year contract worth $925,000 yearly, which is 3 times more than what he was being paid at YSU. The 42-year-old opened his remarks by thanking those here in the Valley.
I was at Youngstown State. I can't thank President Tressel, Ron Strollo, Rocky Nolfi, the entire Youngstown State community. I know the expectation level around here. I welcome that. I welcome that. I want to take that head on. The next 48 hours are going to be very crazy. What excites me is the relationship I get to build with these guys. The goal here is quite simple. Let's win a national championship. Go Aggies.
Now, Calhoun also gets a $750,000 pool for assistant coaches and another $150,000 for administrative assistants. Tonight at 6, he'll talk about what drew him to the Aggies program.
Oh, we'll be watching for that interview and also watching your social media. As always, Dana, you're always keeping us informed. Very cool. And we are just 6 days away from the total solar eclipse. Are you ready for it? Businesses across the valley, especially in Trumbull County, are gearing up for a big surge in foot traffic, and they are expecting it to come with a huge economic boost. Leslie Huff is here with a preview of her special eclipse report. That's coming up tonight at 6. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Lindsay, that's right. The big day is April 8th, and people in Trumbull County, they are expecting to see an influx of visitors. And if anyone is planning on booking a hotel room this weekend, they may face some roadblocks. The majority of them in the county are nearly booked up, and the restaurants are expecting to see a wave of hungry travelers dining in as they wait to see the solar eclipse. Tourism experts in the county say they're hearing that up to 100,000 people could be traveling to or through the county for this event.
You're going to have people from the Pittsburgh area who are outside of totality coming in this way, who might not have traveled through Trumbull County more than once or twice before. And they're going to stop and see things that they want to see along the way. All of our hotels in Trumbull County currently are either at full capacity or near full capacity, especially for Sunday night.
Now, as you can imagine, the increased tourism is expected to have a big economic impact. At 6, I'll take a closer look at how big that impact could be. Lindsay?
All right, hopefully having that economic boom would be great, and that eclipse is going to be something to see. 21 News will host a special report the day of the total solar eclipse, Monday, April 8th. It's from 2:30 to 3:30. We will have team coverage for you from the watch parties across the valley and also all of the updates within the path of totality. You can also check out WFMJ.com and the 21 News app for more special coverage. You'll find that right under the Eclipse tab. Of course, we are your Eclipse report station. We're going to give you all the latest updates on this as it passes through. Hopefully you're prepared. Get those glasses at your house ready. Set them out. Don't put them somewhere where you can't find them last minute.
Right.
I do that a lot. And so, yeah, we're ready for it, Andrew, aren't we?
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I know, you're pumped.
I have been for a really long time. I'm going to be in the path of totality. Where I'll be, that'll be a surprise. But I'm very, very excited, and we'll talk about that eclipse forecast in just a moment. We got to talk about the potential, though, for some severe weather across the area and into tonight. That chance for severe weather certainly a bit lower than it was earlier today, but we're not out of the woods quite yet. Here's how things looked after a couple of raindrops fell. You could tell definitely some water there out across the fairgrounds on our Kissick, Nestico, and Reddick traffic camera, where overnight into early this morning, most of us picked up anywhere from about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Now, a weakening line of showers moving into western Pennsylvania. Do have some flood watches in effect for portions of our viewing area, and we're going to get some additional rainfall that'll agitate those spots as we move forward into tonight. But we're keeping a close eye on the potential still for this line of severe thunderstorms and even a few tornado warnings associated with this line. They're pushing into portions of southwestern Ohio. We're going to watch to see how they do as they continue to push across the Buckeye State. Going to be a lot of question marks about whether they're going to be entering a more favorable environment or if they break up a little bit as they move out of central Ohio and into northeast Ohio. Something we'll be entering is a more saturated environment, temperatures in the upper 50s to upper 60s, even low 70s across the state. Take a look at these dew points, though, pretty close to the air temperature, especially here locally. So even if we don't see severe weather or a severe warm storm here locally, the potential is there for some heavier rain, and that's going to be a concern moving forward into tonight. The main timing of any shower and thunderstorm development will be a bit closer to the 8 o'clock hour and then wrapping up after 10 o'clock, but the potential is going to be there for a stronger storm, but more so for some localized flooding. How much rain will we see? Well, I think on average, we'll see upwards of 3/4 inch of rain. However, some spots, especially in our southern viewing area where those flood watches are in effect, could pick up 1 inch or so of rainfall maybe even a little bit more, depending on how heavy that rain is. And that's through early Wednesday morning. We'll pick up some minimal amounts throughout the day on Wednesday. I think shower activity wise, most of these showers will be around throughout the morning hours of your Wednesday. As we head forward and move forward into the second half of the day, a spotty shower or two will be possible, with those showers returning late Wednesday, turning into some snow showers. Yes, some snowflakes will be falling early Thursday morning. Rain and snow possible throughout your Thursday. And then as we move forward Thursday night into early Friday, once again, rain and snow developing into some snow showers. Don't worry, little to no snow accumulation expected out of this, but could see a snowflake or two at times. Looking forward to the weekend. I think we start a little bit chilly, but second half of the weekend is going to be quite nice. Did throw a small low-end chance for a shower in there, Lindsay, on Monday, April 8th for the eclipse. A little model disagreement about cloud cover. So right now, still a little more optimistic, but more of a partly sunny sky at the moment. I don't think it should deter anybody going out, viewing the eclipse, that sort of thing. But we'll talk about that more closer to the weekend. Backtracking a little bit into tonight. Once again, it looks like areas in portions of northern Kentucky, southwest Ohio, probably going to get the majority of the severe weather. That line should decay as it moves into northeast Ohio. We might deal with maybe a gusty thunderstorm, but once again, heavy rain will also be a concern and agitate those spots that already saw heavy rain earlier.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully people can travel safely if they're commuting. And then also, like you said, no other issues with flooding arise. We hope not.
Yeah.
Well, really appreciate your help. Thank you so much with all of that. Andrew, we're going to have much more when we come back.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. For the best deals on tires, shop online at flynnstire.com.
Tonight on 21 News. The Valley braces for possible severe weather. We're offering terms and tips that you need to know to prepare for violent storms, and our 21 Storm Tracker team will update you as weather conditions change. Plus, the total solar eclipse is less than a week away. A look at how Trumbull County could profit from this once-in-a-lifetime event tonight at 6.
You'll get a kick out of the crew at Kangaroo. We're metal roofing experts. We value our customers, always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Our customers love our upfront pricing, money-back guarantee, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
Oaks Roofing Siding specializes in high-quality roofing and siding services. Our dedicated team of professionals work with you from start to finish.
Now with 0% financing for 12 months. Call today for a free estimate, and we'll come to you. Oaks Roofing and Siding. Quality you can trust.
Clean air is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Stanley Steamer is the most experienced and largest air duct cleaner in the country. Our process goes deep, removing dust, debris, and contaminants. This isn't just a surface clean, it's a real clean, reaching your entire system, enhancing air quality, reducing allergens, and increasing your energy efficiency. With the most certified technicians and the most powerful trucks in the industry, it's a clean only Stanley Steamer can provide. Breathe easier and experience real clean with Stanley Steamer. Call or click to schedule.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the upsell.
Hello? Chloe! It's Bobby from Iron Flash. Can we interest you in upgrading to Muscle Elite for $99.99?
No, thank you.
Wow, I got the go-ahead from my manager to double upgrade you for $149.99. Comes with a mini neck band.
This is better.
Get a membership that fits your budget. Never pushy, always free fitness training, equipment for every workout. Join the judgment-free zone for just $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, April 12th.
Every day, 12 Ohioans die of a drug overdose.
And some of the most dangerous drugs are the ones brought here illegally.
It's Sherrod Brown who sponsored the law signed by President Trump to crack down on illegal drugs being smuggled across the border.
And now Sherrod's working to punish the Chinese companies and Mexican cartels profiting off of fentanyl.
Sherrod Brown has always stood up for us.
He's fighting to keep our communities safe.
I'm Sherrod Brown and I approve this message.
Liberty, it's here. The best burger bar none. Bring the family to Coach's Burger Bar. Now open on Belmont Avenue. The best burgers, wings, pizza, fries, and shakes. Happy hour specials, NFL Sunday ticket, and private party rooms. Kids eat free on Sundays.
You'll get a kick out of our responsive quality service at Kangaroo. We value our customers. We always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Feel secure with our money-back guarantee, upfront pricing, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
21 News is brought to you by Hornbeck Kangaroo. We hop to it.
The Buckeye Review is going through some changes, including a change of ownership. Sisters Zakaya Terrell White and Dontera Terrell are stepping up as co-owners of the news outlet, and they are planning for their new roles at the Buckeye Review right now. Thank you so much for joining us here on 21 News at 5. We have the editor-in-chief and chief content officer at the Buckeye Review, Dontera Terrell, to tell us more about her position, some of the changes we can expect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you brought a copy of this, so tell me real quick, why did you decide to take on the position of editor-in-chief of the Buckeye Review?
Well, you know, I have an extensive journalism background, more than 20 years, and with me heading digital publications such as Black Enterprise, Black Love, which is a docuseries that airs on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and just being a managing editor and managing a team, it's always actually been a dream of mine to run my own publication, being that I've done it for other publications. So with my extensive background, what better way to pour back into the community that has poured so much into me and come back to my hometown, you know?
Oh yeah,
So,
it's a great opportunity.
absolutely.
And like you said, with all of your experience, you're able to channel what you've learned and then pick out the direction of the content. So tell me, you know, how you came about this opportunity to purchase the Buckeye Review and become the new owners.
Wow. So actually a full circle moment. My sisters and I have 3 older sisters actually, but we have all been featured in the Buckeye Review at one point in time. And so that inspired us to kind of take the leadership, you know, be able to, when the opportunity afforded itself, we were so grateful for it. And, you know, with my passion for storytelling, my sister serving as chief operating officer, it was only right and it was only fitting that despite where we've been at in life, where we traveled and where we lived, come back to our community. And this is our way of paying it forward.
Yeah. So what stories do you want to bring here to the Valley and tell? Tell me just a little bit about the direction you want to take this in and what we may find in the Buckeye Review.
So we are actually launching a new website. We are going to revamp the newspaper. We are going to come from an intergenerational approach. You know, we want to have something for baby boomers, Gen Z, Gen X. And as I said, with my extensive editorial background, you know, we have mental health, we have entertainment, we have a lot of lifestyle content, as well as the hard-hitting news, as well as local triumphs and national issues. So it's going to be a wealth of information, fresh content, new voices, and just a compelling perspective.
Yeah, it's time to, you know, maybe tell more of the stories that are not told. Did you see that as maybe a void that really needed to change with the Buckeye Review and really the local news in general? Did you see an opportunity? You said, you know what, I have things that we can report on.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that I definitely want to hone on in is tapping into that younger generation, which is why we want to expand that digital footprint in terms of creating a newsletter, in terms of revamping the website, digitizing the magazine, also just in terms of maximizing our social media imprint as well. You know, the power of the written word is so valuable. And so this is just such an amazing opportunity. And like I said, we're all homegrown. This community has poured so much into us, and we just hope to pour that back into the community with taking new ownership of the newspaper.
Yeah, I can feel the girl power, the woman power in the room right now. You have your sister here offset, but this is great to hear. When can people find the new editions of the Buckeye Review and the website? When will all this launch?
Okay, so the current issue, the April issue, is out on newsstands now. The revamp will be happening later on this summer, but if you go to buckeyereview.com, you can subscribe and receive the latest and greatest once the website launches at the end of the month.
Thank you so much for being here. Excited for the Buckeye Review's next chapter. This is going to be pretty incredible to watch, and we'll see you soon. We're not going to have you be a stranger here on 21 News at 5.
Right, exactly.
Aw, thank you so much for being here. We're going to have much more here coming up. Here's a look also at the rest of your evening network lineup after the nightly news. At 8, it is 2 episodes of Lopez versus Lopez. Then catch Weakest Link at 9, followed by Password at 10 o'clock. Stay tuned as always for the latest local news this evening on 21 News at 11, and that includes updates on your forecast.
Do you have a news tip you want to share? Click on the 21 News app. Go to settings and send us a news tip. It's that easy.
I didn't get the job.
Who knew that when we let a gringo in the family that he'd be the poor one? There'll always be a half Mexican, half Cuban Dominican who, if the lighting is right, can pass for Armenian.
Lopez versus Lopez returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
You are the weakest link. Who showed up to the battle of the brains unarmed? You know how they say they'll look back at this and laugh? I don't think you will.
Weakest Link returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
Hi, Dr. Jarrett from Ohio Specific Chiropractic. We want to keep you and your family healthy. To do that, it takes a care plan tailored to your needs. Let our holistic approach be your guide to well-being. Like we always say, life is better when you're aligned. Give us a call today.
Who will help me celebrate my milestones and achievements? Could it be you?
Who will walk me down the aisle? Could it be you? Who will teach me basic life skills? Could it be you?
We are the future. We need you now.
Become a foster or adoptive parent. Contact Mahoning County Children's Services, 330-941-8888.
Grace Exterminating is your local, residential, and commercial bug and pest control service committed to our customers and the environment. When you have pests, call Grace Exterminating.
It's our business to treat your home and family the way we treat ours.
Got bugs? Just say Grace.
Spring has finally sprung, and that means warmer days ahead. If you don't want to be stuck without air conditioning when you need it most, call the professionals at Ainsley Heating and Cooling to schedule preventative maintenance now, or visit ainsleyhtg.com.
Cobbler's Corner's annual spring sale is live. Save now on Ariat, Carhartt, Keen, Timberland Pro, and Redwing. New spring styles by Brooks, Birkenstock, and Atrax are on sale too. Spring into Cobbler's Corners on Route 14 and 46 in Columbiana.
21 News is brought to you by Montrose Nissan of Hermitage.
Welcome to Choose Click Cruise. Car buying on your terms at Montrose Nissan. Just choose the vehicle you want from our lineup. Then structure your deal with just a few clicks. Take delivery at our express checkout and cruise on home. We promise it's that simple. Welcome to a better car buying experience. Welcome to Choose Click Cruise from Montrose Nissan.
Everybody knows you've got a friend at Montrose.
Everybody knows you've got a friend at Montrose. Go Montrose.com.
Now to the sky-high price to own a home. A new study only confirms with potential home buyers what they know, that it costs a lot more to buy a new home than it ever used to. And that's if they're lucky to even outbid another buyer. A new bank rate analysis of sales data shows Americans need to earn six figures to buy a median-priced home at around $400,000 in this country. Bank rate analyst Jeff Ostrowski is with us now. Jeff, great to have you with us. It seems like these prices have only jumped significantly since the pandemic.
Yeah, they have. Record home prices and just a ton of demand for homes, as you mentioned. So we decided to look back and see how things had changed from January 2020, which was right before the pandemic hit the U.S., to January of 2024. And so we found in those 4 years that the amount of income required to qualify for a mortgage on a median priced home really soared. So up about 50% nationally, and up even more than that in some of the hottest parts of the country.
Oh, yeah. We went through some of your data in this report, and it shows the average amount you need to have a home here in Ohio, the median price throughout the country compared to Ohio, Pennsylvania, a little different. Ohio, Pennsylvania, how do they stack up to some of the other parts of the country?
Well, Ohio and Pennsylvania are much more affordable. So compared to California or Hawaii or some of the other really high cost states, the Ohio and Pennsylvania are pretty affordable. And I know that's not really a great consolation to those buyers who are struggling to afford a home right now. But the reality is that Ohio and Pennsylvania are much more affordable than other parts of the country.
Yeah, you look at how much you have to earn in Ohio and Pennsylvania to buy a median priced home. That's not even a lower price. A lot of people hoping they could get a deal. So this is pretty eye-opening. Wondering if you think it's worth buying a home right now. What is some of the research showing? And is it smart for homeowners and potential home buyers to wait this out?
Yeah, I would say don't wait it out if you're a first-time buyer. The advice maybe a year to a year and a half ago was just wait things out. Home prices went up so much, they have to come back down. Mortgage rates are probably going to fall. And none of those things happened. And instead, it's just gotten to be an even more challenging market for first-time buyers. The home prices keep going up because of the imbalance of supply and demand. There are just too few houses and too many people competing for those houses. And then the other factor is the mortgage rates have shot way up, and they haven't really come back down either. So it's not a great time to buy a home right now, but there's no guarantee it's going to be any better in 6 months or a year.
Yeah. And what about the most expensive parts of the country? What are you noticing in terms of inventory and pushing people out of that market?
Yeah, it's really a shortage of inventory just about everywhere in the country. So California was the most expensive state, and according to our study, you would need about $195,000 in income to qualify for a mortgage on a median-priced home in California. It's significantly less than that in Ohio and Pennsylvania, but there has been somewhat of an affordability migration in the US. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people moved from California and Seattle into places like Utah, Idaho, and Arizona. And then on the East Coast, a lot of people moved from New York and Boston to states like Tennessee and South Carolina and Florida. And so those states, the states that have been seeing big in-migration of new residents, have seen the most dramatic increases in home prices and the most dramatic affordability squeezes. Ohio and Pennsylvania haven't had big influxes of new residents. And so that's part of the reason the prices in those states have not gone up as much.
Yeah, we just wonder how much that work from home business is really impacting some of this too. I really appreciate your time. Very interesting study and great analysis here. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
That's all the time we have. You can always check out our interviews over on the 21 News app and give us a follow on social media too. We have more news on the way and updates on your forecast. 21 News at 6 starts right now.
Hi, everyone. A busy evening across the region as we're tracking some showers and some heavy gusty storms in parts of the area. The overall risks this evening, kind of in the moderate category when it comes to true severe weather, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes. A higher threat, localized flooding. We've had too much rain over the last 24 hours or so. We certainly don't need any more gusty winds in any shower and storm that moves through. And then a cool down heading our way for the rest of the week, way below average through Saturday. 21 News at 6 starts right now.
Coming up on 21 News, with severe storms rolling through parts of the Midwest, we're tracking how that weather and any flooding could impact the valley.
In the aftermath of disasters like the East Palestine derailment, two-person crews are now required on freight trains. What rail unions have to say about this new safety rule.
How Trumbull County hotels are profiting off some solar eclipse FOMO, with tourists set to flock to the valley on April 8th.
Plus, a building with a rich history in Columbiana is changing hands again. What this means for the future of the Main Street Theater.
The Valley's watchdog station. This is 21 News, 6 p.m.
All right, it's been a soggy day, and those gloomy clouds aren't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, and all of that rain is building up in the local waterways. This is what Eagle Creek in Trumbull County looked like this afternoon, as some roads throughout the valley reported flooding. We know that high waters in Neshannock forced some roads to close.
Of course, everyone's keeping their eyes on the sky for some potential severe weather tonight. Robert's Jared Wilhelm joins us now with the latest.
All right, it's going to be a busy evening across not only our local area, but across a lot of the region as a whole. A tornado watch in effect this evening in southwest Ohio. I expect before the evening is through a new tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued farther east to capture parts of eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. We actually have several severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings in far southwest Ohio. This is Cincinnati right here. Here's Dayton, mean-looking line of storms in southwestern parts of the state. In eastern Ohio, we had some light rain earlier on, some showers off to our north and west. All of this is sub-severe. In fact, a little bit of a peak of sunshine here and there over the last half an hour or so, and we remain fairly dry, but that'll change as we go through the evening. Now, the best instability in the atmosphere, the most fuel for thunderstorms will be highest, I think, in central Ohio and down to our south closer to Steubenville and Wheeling. And that's why the overall severe weather risk is in these brighter, more vivid colors, if you will, to our south and west. We can't rule out a couple of gusty storms around 9 or 10 o'clock here locally, but overall the risk is higher down towards Interstate 70, Columbus, over towards Zanesville and Steubenville as well. Madison?
All right, thanks, Eric. And any severe weather threat shouldn't loom into the early morning hours, but it is important to remember that spring does bring an increased risk for bad storms. And we spoke with Aaron Treadway of the National Weather Service on why overnight storms and tornadoes can be extremely dangerous.
You may go to sleep before the storms come, and then they move through overnight. So some of the things that folks can do when severe weather is going to strike at night is to have your cell phone charged, and if you have a NOAA weather radio, have that plugged in and ready to go as well, because you'll need something that can wake you up.
Of course, downloading the 21 Storm Tracker app will also give you the latest weather updates, and you can check out our 21 News podcast on nocturnal tornadoes. That's on the 21 News app and WFMJ.com. Well, more than 1 year after the East Palestine toxic train derailment, two-person crews on freight trains are now required.
The Federal Railroad Administration has issued this final rule after finding, quote, troubling trends demonstrate the need to improve safety. The White House says this closes a loophole by establishing minimum standards and federal oversight.
One rail worker tells me it's been a long time coming, and the union is relieved. Two-person crews on trains is now federally mandated. The White House says the long-awaited rule enhances rail safety by generally requiring a second crew member on major freight and passenger trains. This codifies staffing rules at a federal level, ensuring that rail operations are governed by consistent rules in all states. Rail union leaders say the teamwork of a two-person crew has a real impact.
And saying it doesn't is either ignorant, misleading, or dangerous, usually all three.
Without the final rule, railroads could initiate single crew operations without notifying the FRA, something rail union worker Patrick Denning says has been a concern for workers. With longer trains hauling dangerous materials, he says this mandate is a necessity.
To have two people with two sets of eyes being able to see and communicate with each other, it just makes everything a whole lot safer and smoother as far as running trains.
Now, Senator Sherrod Brown says this is an important first step, but wants to see his Railway Safety Act, introduced with Senator Vance, pass. Brown says that would help prevent wheel bearing failures and require better wayside detectors. Congressional action is something the Department of Transportation and Rail Union is pushing for.
Congress has yet to act even a year after the East Palestine derailment in Ohio. Legislating is your job. Please do your job or get out of the way and let somebody who's willing to step up and do the job do it.
You can read our full story and all the statements on the 21 News app.
Ohio's Attorney General says the law banning most abortions in the state is unconstitutional after last year's ballot referendum. The filing comes after abortion clinics asked a Hamilton County judge to throw out the law. Dave Yost asked the court to only strike down the core prohibition of the law, banning abortions after 6 weeks, and let other portions remain. These include requiring a doctor to check for a heartbeat and inform a patient, as well as documenting the reason that someone is having an abortion. The so-called heartbeat bill, signed in 2019, prohibited most abortions after the first detectable fetal heartbeats.
A 64-year-old East Palestine man already in prison for getting caught in an undercover sexting pleads guilty to child sex crimes dating back to the late 90s. James Brown pleaded guilty to gross sexual imposition. Brown was sentenced to 3 years in prison back in 2022 after talking with an officer posing as a 12-year-old girl online. When Brown is released a year from now, he will be classified as a Tier 2 sex offender and serve 5 years probation for his latest crime.
In Sharon, a man is in the hospital after he was shot in the leg and torso. The 23-year-old was found downtown on North Water Avenue around midnight. Police found more than 30 shell casings in a parking lot and bullet holes in 2 nearby stores. The man is expected to survive. Over on Youngstown's west side, police are looking into property that was damaged by gunfire. It was on North Evanston Avenue. There, a woman found a bullet hole in the shower of her home. A man also found bullet holes in his car and the windows were shattered. Another man found that his pickup truck's windows were shattered by gunfire. Police say nobody was hurt.
Well, Youngstown fire officials are blaming the rainy weather for a gasoline leak. We're told rainwater got into 2 underground storage tanks at a gas station on Bears Den Road near Shenley. Fire officials say the water pushed the gasoline to the top of the tanks, causing it to leak out. Emergency crews were in contact with the Ohio EPA as they tried to prevent the gas from getting into the local sewers. Rain in storage tanks causes gasoline leaks.
Trumbull County will be a hotspot for tourism as people travel there to witness the total solar eclipse in just 6 days.
Yeah, businesses in the county are gearing up for a big surge in foot traffic, and they're expecting it to come with a huge economic boost.
Leslie Huff takes a closer look at just how big that impact could be.
As we count down to the total solar eclipse, businesses in Trumbull County are counting up the dollar signs.
Even if they're just passing through and going to another location, even if each one person spent between $10 and $20, you're looking at an economic impact of $500,000 to $1 million.
It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity that will last for roughly 3 minutes, and Ensminger says an influx of visitors are expected to flock to the area.
We have heard numbers like 50,000, 100,000 to 1,000 people traveling through this county. It's that difficult to predict how much traffic we're actually going to see through the area. But regardless of that, we're going to see traffic and we're going to see an economic impact because of that traffic.
And it may be hard to find an available hotel room at this point. Throughout the county, nearly all of them are booked up.
You're going to see a lot of people coming in through the weekend, stay Sunday night, and then leave before staying Monday night.
With the eclipse drawing near, businesses along its path are gearing up for a surge in foot traffic. The owner of the Mocha House in Warren says their business could generate a few $1,000s from tourists this weekend.
There's been a lot of excitement. We have shirts, we have special drinks that are layered to look like eclipses. So I think that all helps with the economy.
With more local news, I'm Leslie Huff.
21 News will host a special report the day of the total solar eclipse, Monday, April 8th. From 2:30 to 3:30, we'll have team coverage from watch parties around the valley and within the path of totality. You can also check out WFMJ.com and the 21 News app for more special coverage under the Eclipse tab.
The Powerball jackpot's climbing again after nobody matched all of last night's winning numbers. The jackpot's grown to $1.09 billion. Now, there were 6 tickets that matched the first 5 numbers. Those winners will get a cool $1 million each. The next drawing's Wednesday night, so still plenty of time to grab a ticket. You can get your winning numbers right here on 21 News at 11.
Next on 21 News at 6, a staple in Columbiana County has changed hands once again. What this means for the Main Street Theater.
Plus, Eric will have more on the timing of all that rain and the likelihood of severe weather.
First, though, stocks had their worst day in 4 weeks as Wall Street hits the brakes on what's been a nearly unstoppable run.
Closed captioning is made possible by Window World, the nation's largest exterior remodeler. Visit windowworldyoungstown.com.
Grief is a normal response to any significant loss, but in some cases, those feelings can become overwhelming and begin to negatively impact your ability to function. If you are experiencing symptoms of grief, we can help. Call the Serenity Center today.
Groover, roofing, siding, windows, masonry, spouting, chimney with quality count.
All of us at WW Heating are educators. If we can educate people, they can make a great decision why they want to spend what they want to spend to fit in their home for the next 20 years. The whole business is about taking care of the customer. That's what we're here to do. That Ethics Award is proof to us that we need to keep going down that same path where we have the ability to be able to reach out to that customer and they don't just feel like a number.
Let Landis Floors and Design Center give your home a fresh new look this year with an expert home remodel. Whether it's a new kitchen or bath or the latest quality flooring trends, including a full line by Mohawk. Come see us and get inspired across from Sheely's in North Lima.
I'm Amanda Bonison, and I can fight for your Social Security disability benefits. If you need to apply or have been denied, call Burger & Green. We understand the difficulties you are facing, and we want to help. For 40 years, we have been fighting for the rights of the injured and the disabled. We will answer your questions, meet every deadline, and be with you at every stage of the appeals process. Trust the name you know.
Burger & Green, the injury and disability lawyers. 1-800-999-2626.
ASECU, member owned and operated and working for you for 65 years.
Oaks Roofing and Siding specializes in high-quality roofing and siding services. Our dedicated team of professionals work with you from start to finish.
Now with 0% financing for 12 months. Call today for a free estimate and we'll come to you. Oaks Roofing and Siding. Quality you can trust.
Every day, 12 Ohioans die of a drug overdose.
And some of the most dangerous drugs are the ones brought here illegally.
It's Sherrod Brown who sponsored the law signed by President Trump to crack down on illegal drugs being smuggled across the border.
And now Sherrod's working to punish the Chinese companies and Mexican cartels profiting off of fentanyl.
Sherrod Brown has always stood up for us.
He's fighting to keep our communities safe.
I'm Sherrod Brown and I approve this message.
The way someone may be impacted by trauma is personal and unique. Processing a traumatic event is predictive of how it will affect one's life. If you have experienced trauma, we can help. Call the Serenity Center today.
In about 20 minutes, members of the Youngstown community will hear from the developer of a new housing project.
Yeah, the Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board will hold a public meeting about a new proposal.
Aaron Simonek joins us now with a preview. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Derek Madison. This housing project would be a 24-unit facility along East Indianola Avenue on Youngstown's south side. Now, it would be built on the former Woodside Receiving Hospital property. The Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board would provide services to those living there, but we are told by board representatives this will not be a treatment center. They say the project will be similar to the Commons at Madison, which is downtown, right near MLK Jr. Boulevard.
If you're living in our building, you might just not be ready to go out in the community and out in the public to live in a private apartment. You might need some types of services, and that's what we're looking to provide.
People get better, people recover, people that recover pay taxes. So we're hoping to be part of our continuum.
Now, Petrilli says the board wants to be transparent and help the community. He says if anyone has any concerns or questions, to attend a meeting tonight at 6:30 at the Oka building along Shirley Road. Madison, back to you.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Well, trustees in Champion want to turn a former dance studio into a community center. The 10,000 square foot property on Marshall Avenue East would also serve as a new administration building. 2 rooms would be available for party or meeting rentals, and there will be outdoor space as well. The township still has about $257,000 of ARP money to use for this. Trustees plan to submit an offer within the next few days.
An iconic piece of downtown Columbiana is now under new ownership.
Yeah, Main Street Theater was sold to the Roman Bradford Corporation, which is a local manufacturer.
Gina Cadigan has more on the future of the theater. Gina.
Derek and Madison, the new owners will keep the building as a theater and will partner with these same local organizations to put on diverse programs. Main Street Theater has been sold once again, this time for $850,000 to the Roman Bradford Corporation. The historic theater has been a part of downtown Columbiana for more than 70 years.
Across the country, we have downtowns with theaters that have closed, and we don't want that. It's an anchor in our downtown.
The theater has been through several owners. In 2009, the Arthurs family spent $1 million remodeling the theater. When the pandemic hit and the theater shut down, the owners at the time had trouble keeping up with expenses. In 2022, John and Beth Kufleitner of Ron John Investments bought the theater from the Arthurs. The venue has been active ever since, hosting movie premieres and concerts. It's best known for hosting Squeaky Wheel Productions' Special Needs Theater program, where performers with disabilities put on a new show every year. The event is something that the new owners have promised to keep going.
I think their vision is very similar to the owners in the past that, once they want what's good for Columbiana. Theater is very important to small communities, and when we have one that's vibrant like this, it's a wonderful thing.
With more local news, I'm Gina Cadigan.
Well, rain is still in the forecast. When we come back, Eric will have the timing of some possible storms tonight.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. For the best deals on tires, shop online at flynnstire.com. Sign up now for severe weather text alerts at WFMJ.com.
From inside Iran, from Israel, from Florida, part of our continued reporting. Everybody safe? Everybody good? Women, children. Wait till you see what companies are doing to lure people back to the office. Forget about working from home. Look at this. Yoga, a game room. Wow. A speakeasy. Next in Sun Edition.
Tonight at 7 on 21 WFMJ.
Call DEL Lift Rentals for the equipment you need and get free local delivery. Fully maintained boom lifts, scissor lifts, forklifts, and more. Call today, 330-549-0855 for on-time delivery from DEL Lift Rentals.
Look your best with the latest technology from Lombardi Dental.
When you see Dr. Dom, you work with him and he is in your corner the whole time.
Our accurate cosmetic treatment will give you a full mouth makeover in as little as 24 hours.
The passion that he has for this, it's what he loves to do. I mean, it's unbelievable. The other doctors, I guess, saw the mess that I had in my mouth. When I saw Dr. Dom, he immediately saw this.
Lombardi Dental. Call or visit us today at lombardismiles.com.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, Dale. What's going on, man? I'm remodeling and I'm looking for a new tankless water heater. You know, Menards always has Richmond water heaters in stock. I'm headed that way now. You want to go? You read my mind. Let's do it. Man, you ever take off that fire suit? I sleep in this thing. All right. Man, these stores are incredible. I love having them as a partner. Me too. For the best tankless options, come to Menards for Richmond water heaters. And all your home improvement projects.
Save big money at Menards.
Cobbler's Corner's annual spring sale is live. Save now on Ariat, Carhartt, Keen, Timberland Pro, and Red Wing. New spring styles by Brooks, Birkenstock, and A-Trex are on sale too. Spring into Cobbler's Corners on Route 14 and 46 in Columbiana.
There'll come a day when you will need a lawyer.
Personal injury.
Employment discrimination.
Workers' compensation.
You want a law firm that is right where you are. At Green Haynes Scambatti, we live here, we work here, and we are here to represent you. Green Haynes Scambatti, local lawyers who care.
Get 0.9% APR plus $2,750 purchase allowance on this 2023 Buick Envision. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get an additional $750 allowance.
Liberty, it's here. The best burger bar none. Bring the family to Coach's Burger Bar. Now open on Belmont Avenue. The best burgers, wings, pizza, fries, and shakes. Happy hour specials, NFL Sunday ticket, and private party rooms. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Reserve an indoor scissor lift now from DEL Lift Rentals and get free local delivery. Don't miss out on our indoor scissor lift special. Call 330-549-0855 for free on-time delivery from DEL Lift Rentals.
Quite a bit of rain across the valley, especially last night and this morning. The 48-hour rainfall total at the Youngstown Warren Airport, 1.32 inches. But as you can see, there's a corridor of 2+ inch amounts closer to Interstate 70. And some of our local rain gauges also approaching 2 inches, especially down towards East Liverpool, around the Calcutta and Glenmore areas, heading over towards Elwood City in the southeastern part of Lawrence County. Well over 1.5 inches worth of rain just in the last 24 hours. The farther north you are, generally the lower amounts have been, but this amount of rain has been problematic on area rivers and creeks. In fact, the Ohio River at East Liverpool expected to crest just above flood stage by Thursday afternoon. Eagle Creek and the Mahoning River both running high in Trumbull County. We're expecting a crest overnight into tomorrow morning, perhaps pretty close to moderate flood stage at Leavittsburg. So yeah, everything is running pretty high with the amount of rain that we've seen, and that's why there are flood warnings out for several locations across the region, including for several entire counties, especially just off to our south, again, closer to Interstate 70. In the meantime, we are in a little bit of a lull from the rain right now. We had some showers earlier on this afternoon. There's one more batch of showers to our north and west, but the heavier weather is still a few hours to our south and west. There's severe thunderstorm warnings out for the greater Cincinnati area and just south of Dayton, and these storms are trying to rotate as well, and everything is heading off to the east. As far as the timing around here, we should be relatively quiet for the next couple of hours after sunset, and probably even a couple of hours after sunset. That's when our rain chances will increase. So about 9 to 10 o'clock or so, this is when we have the best chance of seeing rain, thunder, and perhaps a heavier, gustier thunderstorm. The severe weather threat remains elevated, even though I think it is higher to our south, closer to Interstate 70. It's something we can't rule out just yet, that before the evening is through, any thunderstorm that does manage to pull through could have some strong winds with it, and an isolated tornado still can't be ruled out across eastern Ohio, even though, again, I think the threat is higher to our south and west. As we go into the overnight, the severe weather threat will end, and we'll be left with showers as we kick off the day on our Wednesday. It's mild outside this evening. It stays mild tonight. We drop down to a balmy 51 overnight, but that'll be kind of the high water mark of our Wednesday. Temperatures will be mostly in the middle and upper 40s during the daylight hours on Wednesday. Best chance for showers will be in the morning, a peak or two of sun in the afternoon, small chance of an afternoon sprinkle or a shower or two. Better chance for showers, I think, returning tomorrow night into parts of Thursday. So again, temperatures go nowhere tomorrow. This 51, most likely a morning high. We'll spend a lot of the afternoon with readings between about 45 and 50 degrees. A couple of gnarly looking days, Thursday and Friday. Underneath this area of low pressure, there's blue on the map. Yellow will be some wet snow showers mixed in with raindrops both Thursday and Friday. Thankfully, the thing will finally get out of our hair as we head into the upcoming weekend with kind of a transitional pattern coming our way as we head into the weekend with kind of a cool day on Saturday, but a better day Sunday. Now, we have inserted a small chance of a shower into our Monday forecast, and that will be all important, of course, for the solar eclipse Monday afternoon. We were a little more optimistic about Monday's forecast yesterday. Today, it looks a little bit cloudier, and maybe there's a little bit of rain around. Stay tuned on that. We'll fine-tuning that all-important Monday forecast as we get a little bit closer. In the meantime, we'll keep you up to date all evening long this evening on social media, and we'll do some live streaming coverage if we need to before the evening is through.
Yeah, download the Storm Tracker app. We'll stay updated throughout the night. And in terms of the eclipse forecast, that can change, right?
It can change. It's changed a lot in the last 24 hours. It could change even more in the next 24 hours.
That's one thing we do know, right? Thanks, Eric. Next up on 21 Sports, Jared Calhoun is officially introduced as Utah State's new basketball coach. What the former YSU Penguin is saying coming up.
Download the 21 News app for top stories and breaking news.
I didn't get the job. Who knew that when we let a gringo in the family that he'd be the poor one? They're always half Cuban Dominican who, if the lighting is right, can pass for Armenian.
Lopez versus Lopez returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
You are the weakest link. Who showed up to the Battle of the Brains unarmed? You know how they say you'll look back at this and laugh? I don't think you will.
Weakest Link returns tonight on NBC and Peacock.
You'll get a kick out of the crew at Kangaroo. We're metal roofing experts. We value our customers, always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Our customers love our upfront pricing, money-back guarantee, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
Endless pain, low quality of life. The problem's not in your head, but just under. Misaligned neck bones can distort nerve signals. Upper cervical chiropractors realign them, unlocking your body's natural healing power. Life is better when you're aligned.
Since 1916, Gravely has been designed, engineered, and made right here in the USA. Whether you prefer gas or electric, every Gravely has been forged with the commercial landscaper in mind. So they're not only built to last, but to also keep you riding comfortably from dawn to dusk. So ask yourself, are you ready to graduate to a Gravely? Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Don't miss the Gravely Open House Savings Event at Dean's Outdoor Power Equipment in Niles.
Do you feel self-conscious because of missing teeth?
I'm so excited for Willie because now he can chew and he can eat and he has a wonderful smile. And the doctor and his team explained everything to us. And I am so happy that we found them.
When patients finish their treatment, the first thing they say is, I wish I would have done this sooner. Take the first step. Call Dura Dental for a consultation. 330-793-3142.
Tired of the crap? Call the Turd Bandit or message on Facebook.
At Youngstown Tile Retail Design Center, we're your local leaders in residential flooring and luxury home projects. We have proudly served our customers and local community for over 75 years. Stop by and visit our new showroom. Let's talk about your home renovation ideas. We have an assortment of products on display for you to view. We carry top brands such as Dow Tile, LePay, Schluter Systems, and many more. At Youngstown Tile Retail Design Center, we want to help bring your home renovation ideas to life. For quality service, quality products, and first-in-class customer service. Go bold, go local, go Youngstown Tile.
Whatever the occasion, parties are magical at Magic Tree. With 30 beers always on tap, exceptional food, and flexible spaces for up to 100, all within your budget. We'll even help you plan it. Reserve a day today to eat, drink, and celebrate at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery.
You'll get a kick out of our responsive quality service at Kangaroo. We value our customers. We always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Feel secure with our money-back guarantee, upfront pricing, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
Hi, everyone. Former Youngstown State basketball coach Jared Calhoun formally introduced at Utah State today. He joins the Aggies after a 7-year run leading the Penguins.
I was at Youngstown State. I can't thank President Tressel, Ron Strollo, Rocky Nolfi, the entire Youngstown State community.
Calhoun gets a 5-year contract with total compensation of $925,000 a year, with a chance to earn an additional $350,000 in incentives.
And I told our players this, back on the East Coast, the conference games here are much later. The Aggies became my favorite team last year. I told Coach Sprinkle this 2 nights ago. We talked for an hour and a half. I fell in love with this group of players. I told these guys, if they come back, they run it back, we can win a national championship. I truly believe that. I got hooked on these guys and the fan base.
The Aggies lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament to Purdue.
I know the expectation level around here. I welcome that. I welcome that. I want to take that head on. So why Utah State? This is not a rebuild. This is a reload. We want to reload our talent. We want to develop our talent, and we want to have a style that fans gravitate to.
Calhoun is hitting the job at 100 miles an hour.
The next 48 hours are going to be very crazy. What excites me is the relationship I get to build with these guys. And the goal here is quite simple. Let's win a national championship. Go Aggies.
Well, there's a local connection to the NCAA Women's Final Four. Iowa's Sydney Afalter's father, Ed, is a Springfield local graduate. Now, Sydney has played in all 37 games this year, averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds. Her father, Ed, was a 3-year letter winner for the Tigers from 1985 to 87. And according to former coach Don Torrio, was one of the best players he's ever coached. The Hawkeyes play UConn in the national semifinals in Cleveland Friday in the second game of that doubleheader. One other note, Pirates are off tonight. They're 5-0 for the first time since 1941. They resume their series against the Nationals tomorrow night.
Yeah, great start to the season. Thank you, Dana. Again, if you want to keep up ahead of this evening's severe weather threat, make sure you download our Storm Tracker app.
And we'll also update you on social media and WFMJ.com. And if there is any big severe weather event that you need to know about, we will break in live on the air with team coverage. And you can also stay connected with our 21 News app for the latest updates on local news.
Yep, that's going to do it for us tonight. Nightly News is next. I'll see you right back here at 11.